It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Hello there, South Mississippi, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. So if you noticed, it's not like it was yesterday morning. We are getting a bunch of changes to our weather this morning. There's a look at the numbers that I think show some of the biggest difference from yesterday. We're looking at the change in dew point. Now, I remind you that a dew point number is not a temperature as far as warmth and cold. Dew point number is about the moisture in the air. And the higher the moisture, the muggier it feels. The lower the moisture, the drier the air feels. And we've noticed a pretty seismic shift for those dew point numbers. We are around 30 degrees up from yesterday morning. So instead of having a 23-degree dew point in Gulfport, Biloxi, we have a 53-degree dew point in Gulfport, Biloxi, which on our scale, what you see at the top, is just kind of pleasant. But importantly, it's not the extremely dry air that makes it easier for wildfires to get sparked. So this is actually one of the biggest factors which is probably preventing us from seeing a red flag warning or a fire weather warning in the area today. It's the influx of higher humidity from the Gulf. And these numbers are likely going to continue to increase from today in the 50s to tomorrow in the 60s. So you're going to start to notice a bit of a stickiness in the air by the time we get to tomorrow, and definitely by the time we get to tomorrow night. One other thing we're noticing is that it's nowhere near as chilly this morning. If you were having to head out the door yesterday morning in a jacket or a sweater, you might not need all of that this time around. Our 8 a.m. temperatures are in the 60s, unlike yesterday morning when we had them in the chilly 40s. So that's a big difference for you. Not quite as much of a difference as the dew point, but still pretty significant across the area. So dew points are up, temperatures are up. What else is up? The wind. Yeah, it's a windy Wednesday, folks. We are expecting wind speeds to be around 10 to 20 miles per hour. But as you can see, some of the wind gust speeds this afternoon might actually top 20 miles an hour, and in some cases could approach 30 miles per hour. So don't let that catch you off guard. Hold on to your hats, etc., etc. We're not quite at the level of where we have an alert in place, like a wind advisory or something else, but our waters actually have some alerts. I think there's a small craft caution in the coastal waters. But as far as landlubbers, there's no alerts wind-wise for the local area. Now, despite the windy weather that we're seeing, the temperatures are expected to be into the lower 70s this afternoon. And when you consider what's normal for late February, that's mid-60s. So to be lower 70s is above that normal. And instead of it feeling more like February, it's actually going to feel more like March today. Speaking of March, that's exactly when the calendar says spring will officially kick off. We are about 3 weeks away from the official start of spring 2026. That official spring equinox moment will be Friday, March 20th at 9:46 a.m. That's the exact moment that switches the calendar from winter to spring. But we might not have to wait for the calendar to switch because I think our weather patterns are already trying to switch. And it's kind of a prolonged spring-like trend here. You see much of the country with above normal temperatures in yellow and orange, only a small part of the country with below normal temperatures in blue, and that will be closer to Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan, near the Great Lakes and upper Midwest and northern plains. Now there's a reason for this temperature setup. In order to see that, we look upstairs in the air. There's a Pacific Ridge that's near Baja, California. That's going to shift eastward over the next 7 days. That's one of the reasons why our temperatures are primarily going to stay above normal, because we're tapping into the warmth from that ridge. Today's winds are mainly from the south and southwest, and we're going to continue to see that wind influence from that ridge. Now, as far as rain chances are concerned, we could use some rain. This has been a month with below normal rain for us in South Mississippi for most of the area. We have a rain deficit of more than 2 inches in Gulfport, Biloxi. And even when we see this rain that's coming later this week, that's only expected to produce up to about a ½ inch or 1 inch of rain, if that. So whatever rain we get out of this week, it will not be enough to kind of reverse our rain deficit, if you will. It's very unlikely we're going to see a rain surplus by the end of the month of February, which is this weekend. So we don't have much month left, and as it comes to an end, it is likely going to end drier than normal for South Mississippi. Now we do have a look at the futurecast. We're going to fast forward past today and tonight because there's really hardly any rain chance for you. I know you're going to see a lot of clouds out today, and you're looking out the window on Wednesday. Oh, it's cloudy out there. It looks like rain's coming. But I don't think we quite have enough moisture in the air. The moistening process from the Gulf is still underway. And the clouds right now, they're not quite yet primed to produce raindrops just yet. I think we have another 12, probably more so 24 hours before there's enough moisture for those clouds to really earnestly throw us a few raindrops. So that's why we're just basically fast forwarding 24 hours into the future. You're looking at tomorrow morning's futurecast, and you do see about a 30% chance of some rain there. We're seeing that wind coming in from the south, from the Gulf, so we're still priming the atmosphere with additional moisture, making it easier for raindrops to develop tomorrow. And while we could see some hit or miss showers tomorrow, it's not going to be a big washout. Some of you will get absolutely no rain tomorrow. And those that do see rain, you're going to have many rain-free hours. I take the umbrella just in case for any Thursday outdoor plans, but understand that, again, you probably shouldn't get your hopes up for much rain during the day tomorrow. Out of our 6 southernmost counties, maybe one of them gets a rain shower. And even in that spot, out of a 24-hour day, you're probably going to have 3 hours of the day or less that it would rain there. I think that's exaggeration. It's probably going to rain less than 20 minutes out of a 24-hour day. So it's really not a big chance for rain tomorrow. Now, tomorrow night, we do see an increase. Wow, there's a lot more green on the map, especially after midnight Thursday night. That's because we are tracking a cool front coming in from the north. This is not a strong cool front, so we're not expecting to see a big temperature drop. You know, a week ago, last Friday, we had a cool front come in with some rain chances, and it was a pretty steep temperature drop that brought us that big cold snap this past weekend. We were tracking that front for you last weekend, but this front this weekend not going to be nearly the same intensity as the one from last time. And you can really see on today's futurecast, it really shows the target area for rain, primarily east of Louisiana and Mississippi. So that's why you see most of the rain showing up in Alabama, most of the rain showing up in Georgia, as well as the Florida Panhandle, as we put this into motion for those early Friday morning hours. Now, this is only one run of one computer model, so I do caution you to just look at this and take it as the absolute reality of the way that this is going to work out. There are some other models that show a wetter setup for South Mississippi. This one might not be the right one necessarily, so just that's why we keep the rain chance. Despite this looking pretty dry, I'm still keeping the rain chance at 40 to 50% on Friday morning, just in case this model is less accurate than some of the other information that I've been seeing. So the chance is there. We're right next to a cold front. It could easily develop some scattered showers and even a few rumbles of thunder Friday morning. Now, once that blue line with the triangles, the cold front, once that slides south of our coast, that's how we can get to some drier air and a lower rain chance. And for most of us, that doesn't really happen until Friday p.m. and definitely doesn't happen for all of us until Friday evening. Now, once we get to Friday evening, the cool front has moved offshore, the drier air is coming in from the north, and that's how we get right on into a nice and dry weekend. Now, technically, there is a cool down from this cool front. Can you see it on the 7-day forecast? Not easily. It does not show up during the daylight hours, but during those overnight hours into the early morning hours, maybe you get a slight little drop in temperature. So you can see, for example, we're looking at 60s for overnight temperatures into Thursday morning, and maybe some more 60s for overnight temperatures Thursday night into Friday morning. But then finally, we're dropping back down into the 50s for Friday night to Saturday morning. So you got a 53 there Saturday morning. And you have a 54 there Sunday morning. So that's how we get to some slightly cooler mornings for you over the weekend, but the afternoon still looks like it's going to be into the warm 70s. Well, that'll pretty much do it for today's edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. We'll see you again next time.
Thank you for watching Waking Up with Wesley with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.